Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here with tonight's preview of the upcoming TNA Impact Live on Pop TV tonight. I honestly can say that for everything that there is in the news about TNA getting the extension, staying on television with Pop TV, there's a lot of rumors of basically TNA not being able to find a deal, maybe TNA living off of, overseas commitments. Of course, they just recently signed the deal to have Impact shown live in India, where they were supposed to go on a live tour, which fell apart, and basically TNA ended up not going to film the end of the tournament in India, and because of this, we're going to show what they originally had shot a few months ago. Now, with them moving over to Pop TV, they're going to be doing this live Impact, which is going to have a lot of surprises. And at the same point, there's going to be a lot of things of nobody really knows what's going on. We know that there's going to be a show on Pop TV tonight, and it's going to have some tournament matches. It's debated whether they're going to have the tournament final to crown the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. There's conflicting rumors if TNA is going to be running a pay-per-view Friday night. Some people say that there is going to be pay-per-view on Friday night. Some people say that the pay-per-view was canceled. All I know is that TNA is not promoting the fact that they're having a pay-per-view. Whether they think that just the die-hard TNA fans will get the pay-per-view, or if they're going to heavily promote the pay-per-view tonight on Pop TV. And the one thing that mattered more than getting the pay-per-view buys on Friday would be getting people to tune in on Pop TV. So that's what they're going to over-promote on Twitter and everything else, is trying to get people to watch this. I had sort of started to think that they were going to have the semifinals, Lashley versus EC3, as well as Matt Hardy against Eric Young. I thought that was going to be shown on Pop TV, and then the final would be held at the one night only, which originally was supposed to be shot in New Orleans, and some people are telling me is now going to be shot in Las Vegas. I don't know. It just seems to me, honestly, like Impact Wrestling was able to throw out that last-ditch effort in order to sign a deal. And now that they have this deal, they're back to the point of not being able to know what's going on again. It's just sort of TNA fashion with everything that's going to be going down. We know that tonight we're going to be seeing the debut of The Miracle. And The Miracle, of course, would be Mike Bennett, who should be accompanied by his wife, Maria Kanellis. Maria, the former Diva of the Year. From WWE. Of course, she, sort of really sparked interest in her by being a part of Ring of Honor, which then launched her going and being a part of the Kingdom in New Japan. I think that everybody who watched any New Japan World pay-per-views over the last year is going to very miss Maria Kanellis being a part of New Japan. It's just the way that they shot her. The cameraman has no boundary limits, and I think we're all going to miss her being there. I hope for the world that Mike Bennett is very successful in TNA. I think that it's cool that they're going to be able to sort of work less and make money. Mike Bennett is a guy that I'm not like my buddy Phil, who's like his biggest fan in the world, but I think he's a good wrestler. I don't know why he's not a part of WWE. For so many years there was lots of rumors about him going there, and I don't know if there's always been rumors that they wanted Mike Bennett, but they didn't want Maria. Maybe they wanted Maria and they didn't want Mike Bennett. Things went back and forth, and maybe they just were able to find a deal where somebody wanted both of them, and that's just where they went because they're married, and they've done a lot of interviews and things like that, where basically they get to talk about the fact that a lot of the time that they get to spend together is on somebody else's dime, with Maria being involved in school to get her... I actually think she's going to get her bachelor's degree, which is crazy because if you think about it, she was one of the first people to reach out and get that WWE scholarship. She was already going to school, but to be going on WWE's dime while wrestling for TNA is kind of crazy. But then again, Kurt Angle went to rehab on WWE's dime while being a part of TNA as well. But they're going to be debuting. Who knows where they're going to go? I was joking with my friend Phil, who's a big fan of his, just basically saying that I hope that he signed a 1-year deal, because The Miracle doesn't sound like the greatest name for a wrestler. But I wish this guy the most success in the world. I love this guy. The Beautiful People is going to be wrestling the Dollhouse. I think that this was a big feud, but then I think, honestly, it lost me when Taryn Terrell, she officially just quit TNA, but I guess she's been gone for a while, ever since that she lost the match and she was banished from TNA. They did the angle where basically she closed her Facebook, she closed her Twitter, which I think can be confirmed now, is that the Taryn Terrell Twitter that is on Twitter is actually a fan that was just smart and noticed that, she actually closed it instead of, hiding the account, like putting, you could close your account and then sign up for a new account, and with the new account, sign up with that name, and then no one will be able to have that name. So then one day, if you wanted to have it again, you just go back and you have all your old status of everything like that. But we'll see what goes on with that. But I'm not that excited about that. Rebel fitting into the Dollhouse. She is hot. She looks good, but it just lost its steam with no Taryn Terrell. She was one of my favorite characters in wrestling, and she's one of those people that I hope she does the rounds with WrestleCon and so on and things like that, because she's always somebody that I thought I really wanted to meet. And the ladder match that she had with Gail Kim was one of the best matches that I'd ever seen. Best women's match that I ever seen. It was very fun, very good match. Even, I can't remember if it was the last man standing match or what kind of gimmick it was, but the match that they had at Slammiversary was great as well, with Taryn Terrell taking the huge bump with the jump off of the stage onto the floor. And as far as everyone said, there's no crash mat down there for him. So beyond the point of crazy. From there, we go to the semifinals, which is Lashley versus EC3 and Matt Hardy versus Eric Young. My overall pick to win the title was, I thought they were going to go with Lashley to be the guy. I know that Lashley's been the champion before, but that was sort of like a heel run, and this will be his first run as a babyface ever since the whole deal with Lashley and MVP and Kenny King, Hernandez and Samoa Joe and all them, that basically they shot a whole bunch of stuff for TV, but because of the fact that John Gaburick brought in Hernandez when he was still under contract to Lucha Underground, and there was that whole sort of screw up. They had to cut everything that they were involved in, and it was not allowed to be shown on television. Lashley hasn't been around for a good little while, but he's been a part of this tournament. He was the guy that I overall was thinking was going to get it done. But I've been trying to think of who Lashley is going to fight in the finals. I know that Lashley versus EC3 is a match that people really want to see, but I think the match that people really want to see would be EC3 against Matt Hardy, ever since Matt Hardy won the championship at Bound for Glory, and that's what set up this whole tournament. With basically EC3 filing the injunction not to have Hardy on television because of the fact that EC3 felt that the whole match at Bound for Glory was set up against him, with Matt Hardy pinning Drew McIntyre, and Jeff Hardy was the one who took EC3 out of the match, and he was a special guest referee, and just everything leads up to it. He has a really good defense, and it made a lot of sense. It just was kind of stupid to take the championship off of somebody when EC3 could have just challenged Matt Hardy to a match, and we could have gotten through all this mess. But I think that when it comes down to it, even though Lashley was my pick to win it, I think it's going to come down to EC3 against Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy really deserves it. And I know that, as I was watching Bound for Glory, it wasn't one of the best shows in the world, but when Matt Hardy won the championship at the end of the show, I felt that it was a really good moment, and I sort of told myself that I was going to give TNA a real God's honest chance of watching it again and seeing where this was going to go. And then, honestly, within 24 hours, I'm just saying that, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to be at work at the time Impact is on. and I'm going to try to stay away from people saying anything about Impact. But overall, from looking at my Twitter timeline, I don't even think people really are excited or even talking about Impact on television. And if I can get home and be in a clean slate of mind to watch this show, and people aren't really bagging all over it and tweeting out spoilers, and it can't be really a spoiler if it already happened on television. I just didn't miss it. But if something happened like that, then I'll check this out and see. But I'm thinking that it's going to be Matt Hardy versus EC3 in the final. And then they're going to be having a King of the Mountain title match, which I'm still surprised is even really a thing, because of the fact that the King of the Mountain was sort of brought back for that whole Jeff Jarrett storyline. Now they're actually keeping this as a real thing, and it's like the King of the Mountain, I thought was supposed to be defended in King of the Mountain matches, and it's just sort of a belt that's out there. They might as well just sort of rechristen this the television title or something like that, and I don't know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But Bobby Roode's going to be defending against a to-be-determined person, which means that more than likely we're going to see some sort of a debut. Maybe this is a spot that Mike Bennett fills in or something else, but that's what to look forward to on Impact Wrestling tonight. Of course, it's going to be on Pop TV. Tuesday night is a new night for it. The ratings for the last two shows, which was a year-end review and then just a regular show, were not the best. Maybe people didn't know about it. Maybe it was because even though they were being shown on Pop TV, Impact was kept on promoting the fact that they were going to be debuting 2 weeks later than it actually did. So we'll have to see. Best of luck to TNA and seeing where they go from here.